This is E-News Prime Time. A very good evening. 8 prison officials have been suspended over the escape of one of the country's most notorious criminals. Ananias Mate broke out of the maximum security CMAX prison last month. Correctional services believed he'd smeared himself with Vaseline and slipped naked through the bars of his cell. But now it seems he may have had inside help, and it's not the first time this has happened.
Ananias Mate, dubbed the Houdini of CMAX prison, after escaping from South Africa's most secure prison. But Correctional Services' explanation of how he did it left many questions unanswered. Even if he had slipped through the bars of his cell, how did he manage to get past searchlights, warders, high walls and an electric fence? What's now emerging is even more embarrassing for Correctional Services. They've confirmed they're investigating 8 officials over Mate's escape. As Sunday newspapers reported that Mate's gang allegedly paid warders 80,000 rand to set him free. Correctional Services say they can only comment once their investigation is completed, and that won't be before the end of January. But some members of Parliament say urgent action is needed. They want Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Correctional Services to reconvene so it can be briefed on Mate's escape.
Also consider that in 2005 a gun was smuggled into the prison, and that led to the death of the head of the prison at that stage. So something is going on, and the Correctional Services Committee must come back to Parliament and find out what is going on at CMAX.
And it's not the first time Mate's pulled this off. Last year, he escaped from the Johannesburg Central Prison after allegedly paying a policeman a bribe of 15,000 rand. That breakout is still being investigated. Mate's dash for freedom from CMAX was also short-lived. He was shot and recaptured by a vehicle tracking company when he stole a car. The former Mozambican national is facing more than 60 charges, including murder, attempted murder, hijacking, robbery, and escaping from jail. Ananias Mate is now back here at CMAX prison, and no doubt under close guard. As the internal probe continues, warders here will have to answer whether they had a hand in setting one of South Africa's most dangerous criminals free. Belinda Moses, E-News, Pretoria.
3 British citizens have been arrested for credit card fraud in Cape Town. The 2 men and a pregnant woman were allegedly in possession of equipment to skim credit cards as well as a large amount of cash. Now, police say this is the 3rd credit card syndicate they've bust in the Western Cape this week, and it's just the tip of the iceberg.
It may look tiny and harmless, but this gadget is behind the latest crime wave sweeping the country. It's called credit card skimming, and it's happening everywhere people use plastic to pay.
Somebody had used our credit card number in London.
I think it's a huge problem. It's not only in South Africa, it's across the world.
These skimming devices are illegal in South Africa, but they're readily available on the internet for less than 2,000 rand. Police say crime syndicates are shipping more and more of them into the country and recruiting staff at restaurants, hotels and guest houses to use them.
A waiter or sales assistant can earn 500 rand by simply swiping your card like this. Up to 1,000 rand if you have a gold or platinum account.
The device can store the details of your card and thousands of others. The information is later downloaded onto a computer, a replica of your card is created, and the criminals can go on a spending spree. The police commercial crime unit has gone on a major drive to tackle these syndicates, but you can help protect yourself against being a victim.
I think absolutely key is when it comes to, for example, restaurants where skimming is most prevalent, is follow your credit card.
Several restaurants now offer handheld credit card machines so you can see what's happening with your card, but if they don't, always pay at the till. In fact, police say never let your credit card out of your sight. Amy Brooke, E-News, Cape Town.
Well, in other news, the country is running out of donated blood. The National Blood Service says the situation is now critical. One province has just a day's supply left.
One of the major reasons why blood is in short supply. There have been more than 200 deaths in road accidents this month alone. And treating the survivors is depleting blood banks around the country.
The inland region is slightly better off. They've got about 3.5 days blood in stock currently. The KZN region is where there is concern. We've got just over 1 day's supply of blood in KZN, and we're looking at the O blood in particular because this is what we can give to people in an emergency when there's no time to do any cross-matching.
Ideally, there should be 7 days of blood in stock throughout the year. Much of the donated blood comes from people at schools and businesses. But these lifelines are closed during the holidays. The blood service has now set up extra donor clinics at beaches and shopping centres to try and replenish its stocks. This is a time for giving, and there is no better way to give than donating blood and saving another person's life. And more importantly, if every one of us were to donate every 8 weeks, the country would have guaranteed supplies of blood throughout the year. Makitosh Nzimande, E-News, Johannesburg.
Well, for more information on where to donate blood, you can phone the number on your screen. It's 0800 119 031. When E-News Primetime continues, an unemployed mother's quandary, how to feed an instant brood of 4.